Hello. This video is gonna be about another lesson or teaching or guidance that I wish I had. It is you are not the body. So you are not the body, as in you're not this physical being. You're this consciousness that thinks that it's the body, or this all these identities that you have on top of this body within the brain, this all this with all these subconscious programs, and these teaching that you're not the body and you're not the mind, or the brain, that you're not the brain, is, I think, probably the most fundamental lesson that you need to understand when you want to escape this matrix or take the red pill of sort. Because it's so hard to express your free will and be this person that you want to be if you think you are fixated and limited to the idea and identity that you embodied within this physical form that cannot change. So understanding that you can change that starts from recognizing that you're not the body. You're not the body, so I'm including the brain here. You're not the body, meaning you have some sort of awareness, like you have this free will. So despite that you've been indoctrinated with all these subconscious programs, like identification of yourself with profession, ethnicity, educational background, these little groups that you're in, it's just identification. And you need to recognize that you can change those things. Like even your personalities, you can change those things through training. And for a lot of people, this is very difficult. And this was also very difficult for me. And the reason why I think, or I wish that I had known this before, is that I was fixated with being this person. I had illusions about who I was, and I realized that I had those subconscious programs, or I had this attachment of being that person, and that wasn't me. As in, that was just years of indoctrination. For example, I was classified, or I was labeled as a failure in society. And I thought of myself as a failure a lot because of that's the environment that I was in. I was called a failure from the family, from, well, friends, and from the coworkers. I was kind of understood as this the dumbest kid, or the one who has no future, in a way. And when I realized that I can change that, I can change the subconscious thinking that I am a loser, this failure in society, into I'm not that. I'm actually not that, but it's just a part of my experience. And I don't need to identify as that anymore. Or this lonely young adult man um, who is pretending to enjoy solitude, or nobody understands me, like those typical characteristics. And I realized that I don't need to identify myself with those things anymore. And yes, I am, this body is South Korean. Yes, this body was born there, but it's like I don't identify myself with those things anymore. It's more like, yeah, I get to live the life however the fuck I want, and it's okay to be that. This brings such liberation, that and the idea that you can actually take accountability of who you can become. And if you put some effort into that, you can actually become that. There's no limitation to what you can become with that level of understanding of this experience, the experiencing this "you're not the body" idea. For example, this is a personal story. Whenever I did grocery, I always bought more eggs than I needed. And one day I realized that the reason why I buy more eggs than I needed in the refrigerator, and I actually throw them away because I can't even eat them all, I had developed this behavior, or this subconscious, that I need to buy more eggs. And this came from the experience when I was a child. When I asked mom to make omelet for me, she refused because we don't have eggs in the refrigerator. And when I opened the refrigerator, there were eggs, and that disappointed me. But instead of rushing out to mom or saying something, I thought, okay, this is not enough eggs for her to make omelet. I see that this is not an adequate number of eggs in the refrigerator to make omelet. So I must have a lot of omelets, a lot of eggs to make omelet. And for some reason, that just became this pattern that I have. And that's an illusion. And this kind of illusion, there's so many of them. And you need to recognize, if you want to be a free person. If you want to be a free person, you need to let go of all these illusions, these subconscious programs that you developed growing up. And this takes years. But it's something that you can do. And it's something that you can do to definitely change the way you perceive life as well. So yeah, you're not the body. It sounds easy. This is really difficult to explain, because it's something that requires an experience. But this is definitely an experience that can be led to experience, if you want to experience that. Like, if you think about, how do I experience an experience that I am not the body? And this is so important. I don't know how else to describe this experience, rather than just you need to experience it. Maybe if some other ideas comes up to explain this, maybe I'll take another video about it. The point is, you are not the body, and all this identification of yourself as something, it can be let go of, and you can create new subconscious programs that you would rather to be identified as. And through numerous progress and repetition, you can become the person that you want to be. And I really wish somebody told me this. Yeah. Well, yeah. Have a great day.